Hi, I'm Jason, and this is the Cultural Breakdown. When you have a company built off of creativity and you put someone in charge of it who has none, this is the result. Now, this is coming from Bloomberg. Bob Iger shifts from building an empire to a Disney yard sale. Now, if you scroll down into the article, Bob Iger built Disney into the world's most powerful entertainment company by acquiring Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. Okay, he didn't build it into a powerful entertainment company. He basically ruined a powerful entertainment company. It was already powerful because that's why it was able to acquire these properties right here. But since acquiring Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm, he basically tarnished the brand names of it. In the past, when a Pixar movie was coming out, people were excited and expected a certain level of quality. Now, when you hear Pixar movies coming out, most people actually have either a neutral or negative view of it. And that's why you see movies like Elemental, which is currently bombing in the theaters, because people don't associate Pixar with quality programming anymore that you can take the whole family to. At best, they're just like, well, I'll wait and see how it turns out. And if it's not good word of mouth, then people are just like, I just won't bother with it. And at worst, people are like, they're pushing a message. I don't want to see that. Iger put up roughly a third of the company for sale this week, declaring Disney's linear TV assets non-core. That includes TV networks, ABC, FX, Freeform. He also said Disney is looking for a strategic partner for ESPN, though he's not willing to sell the whole thing. And the company is already looking to sell or restructure its TV and streaming business in India. In a stunning, if inevitable, turn of events for an executive who spent so much of his career working in TV as a weatherman, and for a company that relied on cable networks for the majority of its profit, before the pandemic, Disney's media generated 35% or $24.8 billion of the company's revenue and more than 50% or $7.5 billion of its operating income. You hear that? They're trying to sell off their TV assets, which generated roughly half of the company's operating income right now. Does that make sense for a company that's actually doing well when they're trying to sell off the things that are actually doing good for them? Yet this accelerating decline of cable TV has limited Iger's options. Okay, so cable is dying, so they're like, well, these are still profitable right now. We're going to sell them before they're worthless right now. Okay, fair play, but let's see how that works out. He thought he had solved the problem with Disney Plus and Hulu, his two mass market streaming services, but his streaming business is expected to register a loss of around $800 million in the company's just ended third quarter. So they're getting rid of their TV assets, which generated half of their operating income, to shift focus to their streaming services, which just lost them nearly $1 billion in just this last quarter. Does anyone see the logic in that? Management chased streaming subscribers at unsustainably low prices to goose the launch of Disney Plus in 2019 and is now seeking to raise prices without alienating customers. Disney Plus lost 4 million subscribers last quarter. So it's also worse. I mean, not only are they getting rid of half of their operating income to go for something that lost them nearly $1 billion, but that's also on the downturn right now as far as subscriber growth goes. I mean, if subscribers were increasing on it, maybe you could justify shifting focus to that, but that's actually not the case. If anything, it's showing that you should get rid of Disney Plus and Hulu and like sell those off or scrap those properties and try to focus on your TV networks. But then you have, like it says, cable TV is dying. So what's left to do? I mean, this is someone who's basically quitting their job and then trying to go back to school to get another job. They're getting rid of their TV assets and the shift to their streaming service, but you're quitting your job as a doctor to go back to school to get a job for, I don't know, something cheaper. I don't want to risk alienating anyone out there with the career by bashing it, but just it's a lesser paying job right now. I mean, I guess there's more potential for it, but this is not a good move for them. It's not clear how serious Iger is about selling entire TV networks. ABC, for example, is key to retaining NBA rights. FX has been a supplier of programming to Hulu. Okay. So not only do they want to sell their TV properties to prop up their streaming services, they want to sell their TV properties to prop up their streaming services that get their content from their TV properties. Does this make sense to anyone? Please make this make sense to me. I don't get what they're doing with this. If anything, this is someone who is trying to destroy the company. Wow. A sale of TV businesses could fetch around $8 billion, according to Wells Fargo analysts. So, okay, they're just trying to get that quick money, but is that really gonna help them? So yeah, Iger's CNBC interview was unmistakably a distress signal. Disney is contractually obligated to buy Comcast Corp's 1/3 stake in Hulu in a deal that would value the business at least at $27.5 billion. It's also wrestling with the colossal debt pile stemming from 71.3 billion acquisition of 21st Century Fox in 2019. So they're in debt. They have some properties like their TV assets aren't entirely dead yet because there's still some, but they see the writing on the wall. It's not as, or it's going downhill. So they're like, let's get rid of this while it's still making some money, while it still has some value to it. Because we have these debts piling up and we have this big deal that with Comcast that we need to buy or need to pay for at the end of the year. So they're getting rid of what they have that's profitable and hoping that their other things will be profitable later on. Iger came back to Disney last November, a conquering hero eager to rescue the company from the era of Bob Chapek, his predecessor. Okay, Iger saw in early 2020 that they were going to shut down the theaters, shut down the parks, and he's like, wow, Disney's going to be screwed for the near future. Peace, I'm out of here. Chapek, you're in charge. And then when obviously things went bad because of those mandatory shutdowns, then Iger like, oh, look at how bad Chapek messed it up. Here, I'll come back and fix it. Yay. Or the guy who bought up everything, he's back now. It's like, now he's going to, I guess that's how you're going to measure Bob Iger's career. When he came to Disney, he bought up everything. Then when he left and then he come back to Disney, now he's just going to sell off everything that he bought and in some. And ultimately the company's probably going to end up with less than when he started with them. I don't know. I mean, this is just a disaster for Disney, but let me know what you think about all this in the comments. And if you like this video, click that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.